Hello and welcome to today's episode of Comms Business Live, looking at the changing business communications landscape. I'm delighted to be joined by Adam Wilson, Strategic Partner Director for EMEA and Australia at Vonage. Welcome to the show, Adam.
Thank you very much for having me, Charlotte. Good to be here.
And thanks for joining us. So the business communications landscape has undergone significant changes in recent years. This is due to both advances made in technology itself and also the impact of globalisation. And these changes have changed how businesses communicate with their employees, customers, partners, and other stakeholders. So Adam, a good starting point is to get your view on how the business communications landscape is changing. What are you seeing here?
Thank you for the question. So what I'm seeing here is that, the business communications market is really being driven by a need for more flexible and efficient communication systems. And they really need to keep up with the changing needs of businesses and their customers. And there's several key impacts that's impacting areas that we're seeing, and that includes areas such as digital transformation, the increased demand for digital transformation, and the adoption of new technologies such as cloud computing, which of course is driving growth of the business communications market.
Definitely. And where does video come into this?
So video has played an increasingly important role for us in our personal lives. Of course, we've seen a huge uptake in that, the ability to communicate with each other personally. And now what we're seeing is an increased demand by consumers, and therefore a challenge to businesses that they buy products and services from, to really ensure that they can provide the same types of video experiences to those consumers that they have and they're used to in their personal lives. So in our customer engagement report, we've seen that that video chat is becoming increasingly important to businesses in making good connections with their consumers.
Definitely, because it's just really adding that human element. I mean, us today, here we are on video, it just helps people really see the person behind the voice sometimes.
Absolutely right. Absolutely.
And how is mobile technology and the growth of mobile devices feeding into these trends?
So we've all had a mobile phone in our hands for some time. It probably feels like a bit of a broken record to say that, mobile technology is key and important. But I think it's going to become an increasingly important part of how businesses communicate, internally within their, employees working together, and virtual teams working together to achieve outcomes in working within our businesses. But also, of course, ensuring that we provide a great service to our customers. It's not the same level of adoption that we've seen in mobile technology when it comes to actually servicing your customers with their needs. And I think that's now going to take it, enter its next chapter, I believe. The mobile technology and the 5G networks and some of the capabilities there are going to give businesses the opportunity, if they make the right decisions and investments, to engage with consumers in, with the device that's in the palm of their hand. And there's nothing more powerful than being able to achieve that.
Definitely, because I guess at the end of the day, it's just about making things simple for everyone. If people are used to having a mobile in their hand, you want to meet them where they are instead of making them jump over unnecessary fences.
That's right, absolutely.
So these shifts are not just changing how business is done internally, but customer communications are also changing. How are customer experience and feedback journeys being changed by kind of these technology shifts that we've just talked through?
So I think customer experience, again, a term that we use in the industry, but it's increasingly important to think about this as customer contact and customer engagement. And I like to break it down into those terms, especially customer contact. We buy products and services from companies. We're using online e-commerce capabilities to do that. And if we're not satisfied with that online experience, we're just going to move to the next brand, or indeed we'll wait to the weekend where maybe we can just get to the shops. But really, let's face it, the best means of getting growth in our business as business leaders and business people, selling products and services to customers and consumers, is to ensure that online experience is as sophisticated as it possibly can be. And that's using all the capabilities that are here today. Technology has given us these capabilities, and I think we'll probably come to artificial intelligence, but that's giving us the ability to engage with a far greater volume of inquiries simultaneously. For example, it's giving us the ability to absolutely get feedback from customers, consumers, and record that centrally, use data analytics to surface the trends, and then make better decisions based on those trends so that we improve our service next time.
Definitely. And you touched on AI there, and artificial intelligence really has been a hot topic this year, with ChatGPT and other AI engines really demonstrating to consumers and businesses what AI can do in 2023. What impact do you expect artificial intelligence to have on the business communications landscape?
So I think there's a few areas. The first I'll touch on is a virtual assistant. I think that the simple questions that we have. If I'm at an airport, I might need a taxi. I might have lost my luggage. I might need to know about my delayed flight. If my flight's cancelled, I might like to know what to do next. These types of things, are going to be fairly common questions. Those questions can be serviced by a virtual assistant that's powered by artificial intelligence. And when the inquiry becomes too complicated, it's triaged to human agent. And you then use the data that's collected in that first engagement, that automated AI engagement, to triage to the right human agent, and ensure that service is always, is at its most optimum level of experience. So I think that's one area. I think another area is conversational commerce. An experience I might have, or a member of my family might have, is scrolling through who I follow on Instagram, and every fourth feed or fifth feed there is an advert based on the websites that I've traveled to over the last days or weeks, and the purchases I potentially might be looking to make online. And rather than being deflected to their website, I'm engaged immediately in a dialogue, either again with a virtual assistant, triage to a human agent, to actually make that purchase on the channel of my choice. So I've chosen that Instagram example there. I'm actually making that purchase on Instagram. I'm not being deflected to a website. And this uses a lot of AI tools and capabilities to ensure that you have the ability to completely fulfill that sale there and then, and the next thing it's on my doorstep the next day. And then, of course, when it comes to sort of some of the more I would say traditional contact center or customer contact experiences, being able to ensure that those IVR, sort of interactive voice response, so when we call a company and we have an automated message, that's personalized. It's you're making sure that you're also collecting data from the CRM, and you're personalizing that experience based on preferences and behaviors and intent. And I think AI is going to play a big role there. And actually, just to touch on one last area, there's undoubtedly a scenario at the moment where contact center, call center staff are potentially hybrid working at home. They maybe don't have a colleague to tap on the shoulder anymore. They might not have completed their training. They might need to feel more empowered and capable when the customer has quite a complex question and they feel a little bit sort of nervous about answering that. So what we're seeing now is a real-time transcription of voice, of course, with consent, and then popping of knowledge articles, popping of next best action for the agent to ensure they take the right decisions, they make the right responses, give the right responses to the customer, and the customer's left delighted, and the agent feels feels very happy about the work they've just done. So there's some examples.
Yeah, lots to unpack there. But I guess the overriding theme there is just about making things simple, whether that's for the contact center staff, whether it's for the customer that's trying to get in contact with you. And it's using AI as it should always be used, and that's intelligently.
Correct. Yeah.
Making sure it does what you're aiming to do.
Absolutely right.
And lots of what we've talked through here is exactly what many channel companies are looking for when they're thinking about the business communications that they offer to their own customers. So what should those companies consider when selecting vendors to partner with when they're kind of thinking about these technologies?
So I think a provider that has a comprehensive offering, and what I mean by that is, I think what we're seeing is certainly a merging of internal communication and collaboration requirements, external customer contact communication requirements, and then making sure we have the ability to be good online providers, to have a good online experience. Obviously, it's always going to depend on the business, the vertical market, and the industry and the use case. But those three areas are really, really key. And having those three areas, of capability residing on one platform, I think channel companies are going to need to work with a company, a provider that has all of those under the hood, but all of those sitting on one platform. And with the ability to sort of really infuse AI in the right way, as you say, and use it intelligently. Also, as you mentioned there, so I think that's key. At the same time, having flexibility in terms of their program, the way they reward and incentivize the channel. It could be wholesale, it could be referral, it could be that the partner wants to become, trained and certified to conduct all the professional services to implement the service on Vonage's behalf. So those types of things are really important. So giving flexibility, like us all and like all companies, all partners are the same. They're all different, and they all needs to be looked after and dealt with in that way.
Absolutely. And as we kind of look to the future, obviously a couple of the areas we've touched on are a little bit future gazing or already happening. But how do you expect the business communications market to continue to evolve?
Yeah, I will give a few examples as well here, but I think the main sort of areas are going to be integration into other applications. I think we'll see an increased amount of customer contact solutions and contact centers sitting as close as possible to customer data. Generally, that sits within the CRM platform. So having a really close alignment between the contact center and the CRM software, and sometimes in some cases having that embedded experience between the contact center and the CRM is going to be key, as well as, of course, making sure you can always make call transfers to popular applications like Microsoft Teams. Of course, you've got to have that. So integrations is going to be key. Think mobile UC is round the corner. And what I really mean by this is leveraging 5G technology, leveraging, for example, voice over LTE, which is a part of the 5G technology stack, to actually provide a native experience on a mobile device for a cloud phone system experience. So making an extension dial to my colleague, could be that my colleague's in Sydney, in San Francisco, doesn't matter where they are, but making that using the native feature sets of my mobile device without necessarily needing to download an app from the App Store. So I think things like that will be around the corner for unified communication specifically. And then I think, making sure we, of course, bring back that term artificial intelligence to ensure it's deployed in the right way. It could be as simple as scheduling meetings, transcribing calls, answering, frequently asked questions. It can be used in quite a simplistic way to really improve productivity. So I think that will come, and again, when it comes to customer contact, that buzzword again, or term, omni-channel experience is with us now, but some debates going on about how important it is. But I think a lot of businesses we're seeing want to make sure that they have that ability, maybe not today to deploy on day one, but they've got that omni-channel tool set, so that when they have a need to service customers over social networks, over web chat, as well as maybe voice, and of course establishing a video chat experience with their customers, they have the tool set in place to do that. And they can just move between those channels seamlessly, without having to worry about having the right technology capabilities in their kit bag.
Definitely. And I think what's important here is just to reflect on the reality that change has come quickly. So we should expect it to come quickly in the years ahead as well.
Yes, we absolutely should. I think that there's some great capabilities out there today, and I think partners will play an increasingly important role in, making sure that those decisions that these companies are making, being a confident guide for them, is actually what we're seeing. There's an increasing number of partners who are providing that sort of advice and guidance to businesses to help them with these decisions, whilst at the same time a sort of an evolution of the sort of the channel that we've been looking after for the last few decades to sort of now take on those additional capabilities we've spoken about today, and build the right solutions for their customers.
And that is exactly what the channel does best. It's about taking all of this exciting stuff and then making it really accessible to every type of business and vertical across the UK and further afield.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Definitely. So that brings us to the end of this episode of Comms Business Live. Thanks so much, Adam, for sharing your thoughts with us.
Pleasure. It's been really great talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you. And if anyone watching wants to discuss any of this further with Adam and the Vonage team, there are some links in the video description to send you on your way. But otherwise, thanks everyone and goodbye.